and today we're reacting to Snoop Dogg issues are worse than we thought. No, not Snoop, man. That was my guy, man. Back when he was on Baby Boy, and shoot, when he was coaching Friday Night Tykes, man, he was there for the youth. What he done did, man? What he done did? Go ahead, sub up, like up. Let's get right on into it, man.
By the end of 2016, Donald Trump had soundly beat Hillary Clinton for the presidency of the United States, and he was about to be inaugurated in January 2017. However, because of MAGA and Donald Trump's perceived racism towards Black America, Snoop Dogg came out with this warning.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you boo ass gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? I'll be the one that performs for himself.
And even down the line, he came out with this.
I just want to say this real quick, not on the political shit. All you people for the federal government that got not getting paid right now, ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid motherfuckers.
But we all know what happened. January 2025, just 8 years later, guess who performed for Donald Trump's inauguration?
No, he did.
Snoop Dogg.
Damn.
Snoop Dogg went on to defend himself, saying that he was still, quote unquote, a black man, even though what he did was hypocritical. And people called out Snoop Dogg for being fake, rightfully so. If you're gonna stick to a position, then you should stick to a position. But that is not what Snoop Dogg did. And that was the only hypocrisy that Snoop Dogg had in 2025. Just a few months ago, in August, Snoop Dogg went to a podcast and had something to say.
And she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. I don't know how I'd answer that. I'd be looking at him. I don't know. I'd be out there looking at him confused. I don't got no issues with nobody. Be you. But golly, just leave the kids out of it, please and thank you.
Woman. Oh shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie.
This situation happened because Snoop Dogg took his grandchild to the movie theater, and there was some level of a LGBTQ scene in the movie theater, and Snoop Dogg was pretty much shook. He didn't know how to respond to it, and he was saying that he wasn't in the movies for that. And again, this is probably...
Damn, that boy Snoop Dogg getting old. Boy, his eyes bulging out. He look like that one alien from Paul. Damn, Snoop, work on your health, my boy.
Him just seeing how he truly feels about the situation. However, there were so many people that came out against Snoop Dogg, especially those in the LGBT community, saying that, you know, he should tell his grandson that not everybody will be heterosexual. And in this case, the gay agenda is just, you know, teaching people about the differences of people out there. And of course, not everybody agreed with this. Some people felt like, hey, if you're going to be gay or trans, listen, you have your own time to do that. I mean, people have always been gay in the 70s.
I mean, be yourself. Be yourself. But do you gotta have no shirt on? Put some clothes on. Have some decency. I ain't gonna lie, I'm out here in Atlanta, bro. You know what I'm saying? The black man gay capital of the freaking world. You know what I'm saying? Just went to the park. Piedmont Park, man. It's one of the biggest parks out there, bro. Didn't know it was Pride Day. Grown men out there in thongs. Booty hanging out, flopping everywhere while these people just trying to walk past with their kids in strollers and stuff. Like I said, I do not care. Please just put on some clothes. Golly, I'm not out there just swinging it.
These, you know, 80s, 90s, and even before then. But why do you need to push it in a children's film? Like, why do you need to push that, you know, on television? Why can't you let people make the decision for themselves instead of basically coercing people into the decision? And of course, this argument went on for months and months and months. And then we found out that Snoop Dogg is doing this.
Love is Love is a record that my kids program, Doggyland, presented me where it's the song where it's teaching love is love, it's teaching parenthood, it's teaching the situations that kids and the world is going through right now in a beautiful way through song, dance, melody, and just trying to get more understanding, clarity on how we live and the way we live. And I felt like this music is a beautiful, bridge to bringing understanding. This is a program that we've been doing for years where we involve kids, and these are things that kids have questions about. So now hopefully we can help answer these questions and, help them to live a happy life and understand that love is love.
Now, Snoop Dogg is now changing his tune. He has a cartoon series and, he's changed his position, and he's now saying that, hey, love is love. He's trying to beat around the bush with it, but it is clear that Snoop Dogg is making an inclusive cartoon that has everything to do with the LGBTQ community, when just 2 months ago, he was not feeling that at all. And people are calling it out.
Anytime you step out of character, you step out of line, and you have clips going viral to where you don't understand some shit that they been understanding and trying to get you to understand, which I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying how they trying to put it in your head. They try to make people see this stuff all the time, because even if a kid, ain't thinking to be that way, never was that way, ain't got that, by them vividly seeing this all the time, people mimic what they see, especially children. Your big grown ass be scrolling on the internet and be influenced by other grown people. So I know for a fact children is being influenced. So even if they don't have that.
He's spitting facts. Like, real deal. You see some all these influencers, all these nice cars, nice watches, nice whatever the freak, baddest women and all that stuff. You out there thinking like, damn, everybody living like that. I want that. You know what I'm saying? It makes you want to live that life. You know what I'm saying? Because you just see it all the time. You think this is normal. It gets normalized. Kids are 10 times more impressionable. Like, we already solid in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say that. There's some people in the closet. But these little kids, bro, there's a line, right? There's a line. And it's like, I think that line is puberty. You know what I'm saying? Below that is just straight innocence. They shouldn't be thinking about sexuality. They should just be being kids. They shouldn't be deciding, do I like women? Do I like boys? You should be like, do I like Legos? Certain decisions just ain't supposed to be given to you that early. If it was up to kids, they would be eating candy for dinner and playing Fortnite till 4 a.m. Is it healthy? No. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not supposed to give kids those decisions. Keep a kid in a kid's place. Come on, man.
That inside of them to be that way, by them seeing it all the time and putting it in their face, or make them go and try it.
Now you went from calling out the agenda to being a part of the agenda. All right. And again, I don't have a problem with people who believe in whatever they believe in. Let's say, for example, you support the LGBTQ community. You support trans rights. Okay. If you do that, that's on you. But being consistent with your position should be something that you're proud of. Even if you're on the right, it shouldn't be, at one moment, somebody can buy you with a dollar sign and you can change your mind. We've seen Snoop Dogg do this on 2 different occasions. He's went from being, anti-Trump to working for Trump on the right, and he's been anti-inclusion almost when it comes to the LGBTQ agenda, to now using his platform to promote love is love. And so what does this tell you about Snoop Dogg? That people like him are not to be trusted. And let me just say this, and this is a lot of celebrities, athletes, and the reason why it is because these guys are in it for money. And a lot of times people in the community are black people, they're offended when somebody makes this choice. But ultimately, entertainers are entertainers. We've heard so much from our cultural leaders, such as Malcolm X, that we should never depend on entertainers or athletes to lead political agendas, because they don't have a real voice. They are already controlled by outside forces. And typically we see, when it comes time for elections, who do they use to, get the voices for us? That they use the D.L. Hugleys, they use the Cardi B's, they use the Snoop Doggs. And the reality is not many of these people are loyal to their positions. Now, in the case of D.L. Hughley, he tends to be extremely on the left, But most people are moderate. They will go to wherever the money is at. And the reality with Snoop Dogg is he's somebody you just can't trust. And that's fine, but you need to understand that. This is just a warning to people, in the black community. If you have a problem with certain agendas or ideologies out there, you have to do the work yourself. We have to do the work ourselves. And this is something that we're gonna have to understand. Most of the people that we trust and believe in, especially if they're in the higher societies, listen, they're gonna go whoever writes the check. You'll always see them at Black Lives Matter protests. I mean, anything that's kind of left leaning, and then they live typically lives that are hypocritical. And I want to bring out somebody like Serena Williams, who is a kind of an advocate for Black Lives Matter, and she calls out racism and oppression. She just had this situation with this whole cotton thing, at the hotel in New York City. And then right at the Super Bowl, you have Serena Williams engaging in the Crip Walk. I mean, this is interesting. I mean, some of the people that are the biggest hypocrites are celebrities. And the only way to control celebrities is to use your own money to spend that money on celebrities, all right? Versus letting somebody else spend the money for you. The one thing that we must give credit to the LGBTQ community is they can get funding to push what they need to have pushed, all right? And even if a person doesn't believe in the LGBTQ community, they have leverage, and if you talk down on them, they can just punish you. That we've seen other groups do this. This is a strategy that blacks tend to not want to adopt, but it works, right? It works if you have people who are sympathetic to your needs and you're also funding that agenda, and everybody who wants money or wants to use their platforms. And it works if that person cannot even criticize you to the point, and if you do, you're not going to get an opportunity. I don't know how many artists that I've seen, those people who drop the derogatory F word. In the black community, when I was coming up, using that word was just using that word. Sometimes you use it blindly without even meaning a homosexual slur. But that word is almost not used at all, at least on social media, because they have punished it, right? And then even if people...
It's crazy how the power dynamics just shifted out of nowhere, man. It just it makes me feel like people in a higher position, those behind the scenes kind of folks, that's really showing what they're into.
Disagree with certain things. Like, look at what's happened to Just Hilarious. Just giving an opinion on trans women or trans men, which in my honest opinion, it was not a disrespectful opinion. They can punish it. So either you're going to get punished for what you have to say about it or not talk about it at all, or you can come out here and get this money. And then Snoop Dogg behind the scenes, what he said on that podcast is actually what he honestly feels. I mean, being from California and that generation, in the 90s, like I said, being a gang member, homosexuality is something that is not encouraged in the black community at that time, or even introducing that kind of ideology to kids. This is how most people, especially in the black community that grew up at that time, look at it.
It's a strange topic, man, because it's prison is a weird place. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of down low dudes out there. You know what I'm saying? Most of the exonerations are black folks, so it's just they get thrown into this weird kind of system that kind of just around a bunch of men. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's kind of where group cultivated themselves. You know what I'm saying? As far as the black community. A little side note, man, that I just think about sometimes, man, how the black family dynamic kind of is crushed even further just because of this prison culture that's forced on us, but also propagated to us so we get mixed into it. It's a little side note.
But when you have money and you have influence and you can change the narrative, people have to adopt that narrative or fear otherwise. And that is called leverage. These are the things that, as the black community, as we continue to go forward, we have to adopt some of these things. And that means with establishing leverage with either Republicans or the Democrats or both. The Jewish community establishes leverage amongst both parties. And so it doesn't really matter who wins the election. Everybody's going to end up, for the most part, Democrat or Republican, pro-Israel. I've never seen a president that's not pro-Israel. That's the LGBTQ community does it. They get leverage. And once you get leverage, you can make people.
That's going to do it for today's video. So it looks like if you get some money and you get up to those top ranks, you can basically get anybody to do and say whatever you want, you know. Opinions are just opinions, you know what I'm saying? And people will switch it quick when it comes to a couple dollars, man. Sad to see, but the life that we live, man. Let me go ahead and hear y'all comments in the comment section down below. Binge the rest of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and they may be rich. Be Richard. Till next time.